All right, and we are back. It's been about 3 hours, but whatevs. Where are my notes? Maniac Cop 3, Badge of Silence. Badge of Silence. What does that mean? Badge of Silence. But the wrong arm of the law is back. Is a little tagline there, but the subtitle, Badge of Silence. This is funny because it's the most words he says in the franchise, so it's not really his silence, for sure. Anyway, so we get a little text opening here. Now, I will say this. Okay, first thing off the bat. I know that the cast and crew, like, William Lustig had his name fucking removed from the film. That's how much he doesn't like the movie. Okay, so it is Alan Smithy. Yes, this is directed by Alan Smithy, which you only see on the biggest piece of shits of all time. And supposedly, someone was telling me that in the making of, that everyone's just trash talking the movie and how much they hate it. So I went into this. I've seen it, but it's been a while. So I went into this, and I was like, all right, let's see. I thought this was totally fine. I thought this was totally fun. I really enjoyed this. In fact, there's a lot of really cool shit in this. So now, okay, is there problems? Do I have issues? Yeah, but I have issues with all three. So I don't see this as some like major decline in the franchise. It's the worst of the three, but not by a drastic margin. Like, I dug it. I find it's a fun, like, it's another chapter in the Maniac Cop series, and there's a lot of really cool shit here. So why this film's so hated by people who were working on it, I don't know. I'll have to watch the behind the scenes. Maybe it was more of like creative control, or maybe it was, even if the film turned out all right, it's still like, dude, that's not what I envisioned and that's not what I wanted. I could see that. Like, it could still be a movie that was beloved. Kind of like Stephen King, how he feels about The Shining, where it's like this fucking, regarded as a masterpiece by a lot of people, but he's like, okay, fine, but I don't like it. It's not the version I have in my head. It's not what I want. And he went and made his, and a bunch of people don't like that one, and that is what it is, but that's the one he prefers. So I kind of understand that, but I don't know what the reasoning is behind it. I did watch a little bit of behind the scenes of this once upon a time, but I don't remember a damn thing about it. But let me know. Maybe I'll watch it soon. Anyway, so this one kind of starts off with like a voodoo ritual. More they go like the route of Chucky here, where he brings them back. And I like that the voodoo guy kind of sets up and foreshadows the ending, where he's like, I can't bring back someone from the dead if they don't want to be brought back. Like, Cordell wanted to come back. He still had shit to do, which doesn't really line up with his whole vindication in the second one, where the guy comes out and Cordell's just kind of like, all right, like, I got what I wanted. I'm out of here. But in this one, he kind of comes out of it. Okay, see, what would make sense to me, I think the way this would have worked better if they were going for the voodoo angle and this and that. Set up the girl, getting framed, the cop, and have her, in jail, framed for what she didn't do. And this brings Cordell back. Like, he comes back to defend her. Not like he comes back before this even happens. So he has no reason to come back at this point. But then once he's back, this girl gets framed, and then he's coming for her. So it just happens too early. That's the issue with the movie. I mean, unless I'm way off base here and somebody's got a better spin on things. But that's the way I see it. I think that's the way it would have worked. And it doesn't work this way. And you could easily just keep the ending of the first one with his hand coming up out of there and grabbing the badge. Like, you can still make that canon to the franchise. Just have that cop, framed in between his death in part 2 to his burial. Just have it happen right there. And as he's being buried, start it. Make the movie have an opening credits sequence where she's getting fucked and framed and he's being buried at the same time. And then as soon as she, is screwed over and they arrest her, Cordell's hand comes out and is like, grabs the badge and is just like, no more. We're not going to let fucking cops get framed for shit. I'm coming back for vengeance. You know what I mean? See, that would have worked. that would have played really heavily into the first. You could have kept that last moment in that movie and still made it work for this story. So anyway, all right, moving on. I literally have not thought of any of this until right this second when I was thinking about like what was my issue. That's my issue. It's always fun to hash it out with you guys, just kind of live and just speak. Davey here, Robert Davey, he has no use for ear protection at the gun range. So he's just a badass that doesn't care about his face or his ears. So poor guy. I don't know how much time is supposed to have passed between that one and this one, and what happened to the psychiatrist, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Davey's here, and he's kind of carrying the show this time, and he becomes the straight up action hero. He becomes the John McClane of the franchise. And that, of course, ties into the fact that he was Big Johnson, and then we get Little Johnson here, played by Grand Bush. So you got a Little Johnson with a Grand Bush. Gotta love it. Die Hard. And then you've also got the Lieutenant Dwayne. I'm not the one that just got butt fucked on national television, Dwayne. Oh man, I love Die Hard. I'm gonna have to cover those movies. I'm gonna have to cover Lethal Weapon. I gotta do all that. Lethal Weapon especially. Dude, I love all 4 Lethal Weapons. I love the first 3 Die Hards, and I like the 4th one. The 5th one can, I'll be interested to rewatch it. But anyone want to see me cover like action franchises too? I'm gonna do them whether you fucking want them to or not. Even if I get 100 comments, like I'll fucking unsubscribe. That will give me more fire to do it. So only comment if you want me to do it. I'm just kidding. Comment with whatever you want. All right, let's see. I like the gun talk. I like when him and this girl are going back and forth, and he's like, she shoots him in the dick, then he shoots him in the head, and he's like, you should have waited, and shoots him in the head, and then she pulls out the hollow points because she's kind of like, she feels like the criminals aren't playing by the rules, so why should she? And my question was, when she grabbed the weapon, she grabbed like this Uzi. I was like, what the fuck, dude? Cops don't carry those. And then that's addressed in the movie. Like, she's using a gun that's not police issued, and she should be doing that, and she should be, arrested and whatever. So that was good. I like that. When Davey comes to look at a dead body and the guy's head has been decapitated, and a freaking a chicken has been shoved down his throat, or a cock has been shoved down his throat. They spray a smiley face like when they're outlining the body, and he comes over. I'm like, damn, dude, you have to have a real dark sense of humor to have a dead body laying there with a cock shoved down his throat, and he's fucking spraying happy faces on his head. And then he just looks over, he's like, very funny. And it's like, dude, do you realize like the family's going to come to the crime scene and they're going to see that that's spray painted in with a smiley face? You don't think that's going to piss them off? Probably not the best time to be joking around. Have you ever seen a person's dead body spray painted into the ground? Do they still do that? Do they like mark it off with tape and everything? Is that a thing still? Has anybody ever seen that actually done in real life? I never have. We got some Nightcrawlers here, essentially, like Jake Gyllenhaal's character. They're actually working for the news network, but they are essentially Nightcrawlers, and these guys are assholes. Holy shit, man. They totally frame this chick. They totally make the video, make it look like she's the murderer just so they can get ratings, and they're just driving around being pieces of shit, dude. They're awful human beings. So I was not bummed when they were killed. We got Jackie Earl Haley here, Freddy Krueger himself. I know people probably don't want me to call him that. But he's a great actor, man. I love this guy. He's so high intensity. He's so crazy. And then she comes through the roof. I feel like that was the time to just shoot him right through the glass. But whatever. He takes so many drugs. How could he have stayed conscious? There's no even injects himself. There's no way. He takes like a handful of this pill, a handful of those pills, and then he shoots himself up with God knows what. And then he grabs the girl who's clearly like his girlfriend or some insider, and then she's pissed off at her, so she shoots at her, and the cop kills her. They make it look like she's just shot everybody, including the victim. And so she goes in, she's brain dead. But I'm assuming she's connected to Cordell somehow. I don't understand any of this because Cordell's girlfriend in the first movie was the chick with the broken leg. Did Cordell and her have any connection? Did I miss this in the movie? It was like 3 something in the morning when I was watching this. So I didn't catch anything that they were dating. I know she said something about like they call me Maniac this or that. But within that conversation where the gun range, were they talking about like her relationship with Cordell in the past? Like what connection does he have to this chick? Because he's coming after her. I need to rewatch that scene because I'm confused on that. But regardless, this is why I get envious of when I listen to Exploding Heads horror podcast. Shout out to those guys. They have 3 guys there, and just like tonight, I was listening to their Purge franchise review, and one of them was like, I didn't think there was any connected characters in any of these movies. I thought they were all standalone. And I'm like sitting there like, what, dude? You didn't recognize Frank Grillo as the main character in 2 and 3? But he had Brandon and he had Christian to sit there and be like, no, dude, this is the guy from the first one. You know, he's the resistance leader, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, cool, yeah, this and that. I always wish I had someone else here to be like, yeah, dude, he was his girlfriend, this and that. It would be so nice. It's hard to fucking keep everything straight when you're reviewing as much as I do and you're watching 3-4 films at a time. I watched an entire TV series, too, that is fucking paranormal show. And I have that to review eventually, too. And I'm like trying to keep it all straight in my head. So it gets really tough because these, you know, especially watching all 3 of these back to back, you start to blend things. But whatever, anyways, enough bitching. Let's get back to it. So, yeah, comments if you know the movie really well. What connection does he have to this girl? Anyway. And, dude, the doctor in this movie is awful. Just a piece of shit. Holy hell. They make you want to hate him, this and that. But, dude, he's over the top, even for an asshole. He's just coming out and just like, oh, you know, what's the status of my partner or my friend, whatever. And he's like, put her in a rock garden. She's finished. Like, no doctor would talk like that, dude. No way. He's even going down on a girl in like the break area with a stethoscope on his head. What was he listening for? Was he putting it against her pussy and listening for like contractions to like know when she's coming? Like, I was so mesmerized by or listen to her heartbeat and kind of watch it go up and down as he's like doing his thing down there, giving her that conolingus. When he came up and he had this stethoscope on, I was like, so many possibilities. So many. And of course, Jackie Earle, fucking alive. The junkies always live, right? And then, yeah, the dreams of marrying Cordell. I'm confused by this. This is what I'm saying. I need to go back and rewatch that because I'm super confused. And the doc is killed. I just put yes, exclamation point. The music in this, even though there's a lot of diehard people, the music is that Lethal Weapon guitar riffs. And Robert Forster's in here, and Dwayne is bribing the doc to kill a patient because they want to like, you know, sweep this all under the rug. They've had enough bad press with the Maniac Cop and everything. It's like, we don't need another one. Like, kill her. Dude, that's some shady ass shit. Kill a person. We don't want to deal with it. And then that dude is Robert Forster's fucking character is X-rayed to death. Woo! What a horrible way to go to just slowly be cooked by X-rays. Yikes! I wonder how long that would take. And then the dudes with the cameras, the Nightcrawlers, they come up to this kid and interview him, and they're like, he's interviewing him about like, oh, someone get shot? Yeah, did you see it? Oh, was it a little kid? Yeah, how female? How old? Very young. And then he's like, do you know her? And he's like, yeah, it's my sister. And the guy's like, oh, well, life's a bitch. And he just leaves. Oh my God, what a monster. What a monster this guy is. You just want him dead. And then Cordell comes after them. So I don't know. Did he like go to that call? Like, it doesn't, what happened there? Did he kill people to get them to come there? because he knew, like, somebody shot a kid in the face. Cordell wouldn't shoot a little kid in the face just to get those guys to come there. So I guess he heard about it. He was just following them around, I suppose. I don't know what's happening here. But he goes, he kills the guys, and he takes their Betamax tape. And I was actually laughing when I was thinking about Beta. And I was thinking, wouldn't it have been a fucking total baller move for VHS to come out, and instead of being called the VCR to combat with the Beta, you would have called it the Alpha? Dude, how badass would that have been? The Alpha player. Like, just totally fucking obliterate the competition. Like, oh, you want the Beta? We got the Alpha. Seriously, where was I for the marketing team? That would have been awesome. That would have been awesome. Anyway, why settle for a Beta when you can have an Alpha? Dude, right there, it sells itself. Fucking, I just need to slick my hair back like usual and become fucking Don Draper. I could have been advertising for the Alpha. I have like a bunch of slogans running through my head right now. Like, where was I? I should have been doing blow off a hooker's ass up in those fucking 80s, CEO offices and shit. All right. Dude, when Dwayne's trying to hit on that lawyer and she's just sitting there like trying to get the rights to the movie from this junkie piece of shit who's just this total dreadful human being, they get shot by him, and then he comes out and he's like, oh shit, I shot my lawyer, and the guy's like, just get another one, they're free. Great line. Hilarious. Fucking awesome. That's so funny. That's so funny, especially when you know she's such a piece of shit. Then you got Robert Davi doing some like action movie hero thing where he rolls himself. Like, how did he roll himself under that? Like, he's in the stretcher under the sheet. How could he have possibly got that thing rolling at them without them seeing him rolling it, jumped up onto it, then put himself under there to look like a dead body, and then with the sheet over his face start firing in the direction of them, having absolutely no way to see, and even if he couldn't move because it's the element of surprise, so he couldn't even have put his head up for a second to look where they are. So he has to just randomly start shooting in a direction, hoping that the cart stayed straight and they were still standing there. This scene is so fucking stupid and ill-conceived, but I don't care. It's fun. And he jumps off that cart, and he has this whole fucking Die Hard moment, and he jumps, and this is a really cool move. He goes to like jump through a window, but then he catches it with his foot, and the guy like goes to the other side to shoot him, and he's not there, so like he checks on the other side, and he's already waiting for him, and he shoots him, and it's fucking badass. I love it. That shit's awesome, man. But the whole sheet over the thing, no sense, none at all. I don't care what you say. So that is so dumb. And then he just fucking blows everyone away. Bloodshed. Shoots Jackie in the shitter. Shitter's full. Good morning. Hey, honey, have you checked our shitters? I can't. Anytime I say shitter, I always have to talk about Christmas Vacation. I just have to do it. I have to. And then he tries to get Voodoo to bring this girl back, and he just tells him outright, like, dude, she doesn't want to come back. I can't bring her back. She doesn't want to come back. And then he just blows the freaking dude away. And then, yeah, Matt speaks there. He's like, finish it. No, he says it clear as day, as I said in my previous review. It's not even like, and then he's walking on fire again. Dude, guys, you think he's on fire in the first movie a bunch? He's on fire in this movie for like 15 straight minutes. He has a car chase scene that made me laugh out loud like 3 times. The fucking dude is completely ablaze, driving a car, grabs on, he takes his arm, he reaches it in the car, and he's like pinning the car. He is straight up like the T-800 in this. He is a Terminator in this at this point. His strength, which is never really displayed much else in this franchise. Like, he doesn't exhibit a ton of strength. He exhibits like a lot of resilience and indestructibility, but strength, not a ton. Like, yes, stronger than the average guy, but not where he's driving down the road and fucking takes his arm and literally shoves cars out of his way as he's driving. The first car he did that to, I thought I was gonna have to pause the movie. I couldn't stop laughing. He literally fucking reaches his arm out the car as he's driving past another car and pushes the car, and the car goes spinning off the road. He pushes it with his bare hand, and he does this to 2 different cars. Why he doesn't do this to Davy's car, no clue. 0 clue. Why the fuck wouldn't he do it to them? I don't know. I don't care. He sticks his arm in, boom, cradles it, pulls it close, and holds them against the car. And then he throws an oxygen tank in there, which it didn't blow. It would never blow up in Jaws, and it sure shit wouldn't blow up here. But whatever, he throws it in there. And then they have this big, long fucking battle to try to get him off the car. And then he cuts the arm off by driving it through a pipe. This whole car chase sequence where he's on fire is awesome. It's awesome. It's a great ending to this movie. It's a badass final scene. Like, people were like, oh, it doesn't feel finished. I've heard that. What the fuck are you talking about? This final chase scene is awesome and clearly the ending. This is what they had in mind. And then he goes in the car. He's like revving it up like a bull who's like scraping his feet like he's going to charge at him. And just as he lurches forward, the car blows up with him in it. It's awesome. This scene is fantastic. I love it. So, dude, I'm a big fan of Maniac Cop 3. I think this is a great franchise. All 3. It's a great trilogy. Like, this is not yet enough attention as a really solid trilogy. Yeah, there's downsides to this. There's questionable things, this and that. Story maybe not isn't the greatest, whatever. But it's still a super fun time. I feel like they reused a scene from the second movie where he's coming up the hallway shooting cops. Pretty sure that's from the first film, right? And maybe they used other things, but that was the one I really noticed. I was like, that's gotta be. And then, yeah, he goes and, of course, Cordell, Davy's character here gets the doctor at the hospital. They're like macking on each other, and he saves the damsel in distress. And then Cordell is put in the hospital with the burnt body. And you think it's his body at first, which was a really good twist. And then it puts it next to him, and then you're like, wait, it has 2 arms. Are they really fucking this continuity up here? And then the arm from the other comes out, it's burnt, and he puts it on them, on the hand, and the movie ends. I think that's great. It's a great ending, dude. He's like there, he's trying to get the chick, and then he's like, oh, we're here together in the infirmary, or well, the morgue, and I'm just gonna put my hand on yours. It's great. I love it. It's awesome. This is great, man. This is a fun film. Why is this shit on? And it looks great too. The Blue Underground Blu-ray is fantastic. If you can get your hands on it, don't pay too much for it. But man, I went into this thinking I was just gonna watch like average little trilogy, but I ended up coming out of it a huge fan. I'm a big fan. I'm gonna be defending the shit out of this trilogy from now on. I'm good, dude. All 3 were a great time. Really fun to watch back to back to back. It was a great time. Just three movies in a row. It was like 4.5 hours, and I never was bored, not one time. And I watched them literally as soon as the fucking movie was over. I popped the next one and play, and I did it till about 3:30 in the morning. Super fun. So anyways, there you go. The Maniac Cop franchise, all in one go, all in one night. Reviews and the movies. Just like I did with the Cube movies. What do you guys want to see next? What's the next series you'd love to see? Well, comment down below with what series you'd be dying for me to cover that I haven't covered. Just check my videos, see if I've covered the franchise before, because I've covered a lot of them. But anyway, guys, that was fun. Maniac Cop is out.